Good morning, and thank you so much for joining me for our session today. We are here today to do a little bit of a celebration around 2021 and to look towards 2022. So just to get a little bit of a flavour of the kind of lessons and insights that we can gather from the year that's been, an interesting year, and how we would like the year ahead to kind of pan out when we can control things. My name is Julie Jones, as you guys know me already. I won't spend too much time introducing myself, but I did want to just, I guess, get you guys into the zone of ocean flow. Ocean flow is a real passion of mine. It is a culmination of many years of working in corporate spaces, looking at kind of how we can envision a great future and looking to grow our businesses or our careers, and how we want to move forward in life in general, along with a desire to really help women in business to be able to achieve their dreams and goals with flow. So with a little bit more ease and grace, rather than this feeling of just being on the treadmill or constantly fighting fires. So ocean flow is my kind of terminology, my way of thinking about how we can get into a zone of productivity or a state of flow that means it's easier to get stuff done. And that's the whole reason I've created Ocean Flow. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we go through. I did want to start by saying that Ocean Flow is about the dreaming. So it's very much about this futuristic perspective and setting some wonderful dreams and goals, and then the doing with flow. So I find that often we can do lots of great visioning and lots of strategy stuff, but then converting that to action is kind of the place we fall down. So I've really focused a lot of the techniques and strategies around how to get the doing done easily. So I'll share some of that with you, although today we're going to kind of be doing more of the dreaming side of things. So our agenda for this morning, I will try and keep this session to 45 minutes in terms of the content, but I am really happy to stay on and spend time with you for longer if you have time. I'm going to just, again, reiterate the importance of self-care, the loving your inner mermaid, the importance of taking really good care of our physical self in order to make sure that we can continue to do with flow. I'm going to take you very quickly through the Ocean Flow 8-step process. Today, we're going to be focusing on kind of more steps 8 and steps 1, and I'll explain that as we go through. We're going to be spending some time celebrating. I know that sounds weird because it's been a really weird year, but we're going to try and find some things to be grateful for, some things to celebrate, even if it's just the lessons that we've learned out of this craziness. We will also hopefully get you to a place where you can start to think about setting up for an amazing 2022. And then what next from there, we can chat about that at the end. Awesome. Does that sound okay with you if we get into that today? Awesome. Wonderful. So, loving your inner mermaid. I know that Chewy and Chris, you already know my story a little bit, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but I just want to make sure that you focus in on, you know, when we forget about self-care, when we're not taking good care of our physical self, we can get sick. We don't take care of things like the chronic stress that happens in our lives today, and that's a really big issue for us. I know that Chris has been going through some health issues this year, and you know, both of you know I've been there, done that, and I've learned my lessons. Hopefully, I'm still working. It's a really interesting concept when we are. I know I'm a very A-type personality. I've been in corporate roles, big strategic roles, you know, working 60-70 hours a week. We just lose focus on what's important. So I want to just keep reminding you. I'll keep banging this one home: how important self-care is. Doing the little things that help us feel good, whether it's a little walk in the morning. I'm very lucky I'm near the beach. So I was about to take my dog to the beach this morning, and then a thunderstorm came through, and he's not good. He literally will not go out in the rain, and the storms, he just shakes like a jelly. So we haven't been to the beach yet this morning, but we will head there a little bit later if it cheers up. So really think about, what is it in my morning routine, my morning rituals that I can do that just help me set up for a great day and that focus in on self-care. On the website, there is, if you haven't seen it already, a little water meditation. It's a little meditation you can do in the shower. So if you've only got 3 minutes in the morning in the shower, you can do this kind of process that will just help you get into that zone of thinking about being mindful, where I'm at, and how to start the day well. So I can send you some links on this stuff afterwards if you'd like it. I also did recently a morning rituals card. If you guys haven't downloaded that one yet, I'll send you a link to that one too. That's just got a whole list of ideas around what you could include in your morning rituals. And you don't have to do a lot. It can only be just a few minutes if you don't have a lot of time, but little things that help us to feel calm and in the zone and ready to take on the world. So yeah, really make an important point of that one. Okay, so this is the Ocean Flow 8-week process. This is I run an 8-week program, but this process, this 8-step process, is kind of the way to think about how we would progress from kind of the dreaming to the doing. And it's a very cyclical process. So the arrows are there because it keeps going around in loops. The very first step that we do in the 8-week process, which we will touch on a little bit today, is a pause and listen sort of section. It's about really understanding what our key life lessons are. So kind of where we've been, in order to then figure out how we want to move forward, and is really fundamentally about ensuring that we are understanding where some of our lessons and values have come from and how they might either guide or block us from moving into our dream future. In this step, I also go through some flow productivity fundamentals, and we talk a lot about self-care as well to kick us off. In module 2, this is our curiosity and inquisitiveness module, and this is about dreaming big, and I am going to just touch on this today and share with you some concepts around dreaming big and exploring where we might set dreams or goals around 8 key life areas. I've tried to hone it to 8. There are actually 11, but it's kind of like this whole flow for me, the idea of the magical number of 8, you'll see comes through a lot in Ocean Flow. So yeah, we really would love you to do some sort of really digging into that curiosity, inquisitive, where could life really take me from here? What do I really want to bring to life? So we encourage you to dream big. In module 3, it's about awe and wonder. This is about creating your vision board and starting to bring it to life visually and physically, so that we can tangibly get hold of this stuff and say, okay, what would that really look like? My vision board is right behind me. This is 2021, so I'm just in the process of reviewing my vision board. And I do find this works well for me as an annual process. Some people don't use an annual process. They might just have an inspiration board, which I'll show you I also have too. But you can also do this more regularly if you want to. I find just annually though seems to sit well for me. So it fits with kind of my kind of flow processes in life. So yeah, we can talk about that in more detail. Module 4 is about creativity and innovation. This is about creating what I call sticky goals. I don't know if you guys have been to my previous Ocean Flow sessions, but sticky goals are my version of the SMART goals. So in business, we talk a lot about SMART goals, which are a bit dry for me. So I've created sticky goals, which I'll share with you today as well. Module 5 is where we sometimes get in a bit of a cycle process as well, is where some people get a little bit stuck, which is actually creating clarity around our goals. So starting to create a bit of a process around how we're going to make them happen, as well as pressure testing. So this is where I found in my last 8-week program that I ran, some of my participants get a little bit stuck and they kind of go, oh, I'm not sure if I really want to commit to those just yet. And that's really important. It's really key that we understand if our goals are exactly right for us. I'm just going to pause just slowly. Hi there. How are you, Shelley? Lovely to have you here. I think Shelley's audio is just connecting. There we go. Hi, Shelley. I'm just taking everyone through the Ocean Flow process. And yeah, I'll bring you up to speed in a little while after the session, if that's okay, Shelley. We're a small group, so feel free to jump in and ask questions as we go. Awesome. Module 6 of the program is the rituals and routines process. This is a lot of our flow productivity techniques, and these are the processes, the cycles that help us to stay on track once we've created this wonderful vision and these great goals that we really want to go after. The rituals and routines really help us to stay on track. Likewise, in Module 7, the review, reflect, reset cycle. This helps us to really ensure that we're constantly checking in with those goals and making sure that they are the right ones, that we're on the right journey, and to enjoy that journey too, rather than just being kind of set on a mission and the end point is the only thing we care about. The journey itself is really important. So having great daily, weekly, and monthly rituals can really help us in the cycles to help us to get towards our goals with that idea that we're actually really enjoying the journey. The last module, which is where we're actually going to start today, is the Celebrate and Grow module. And this is deliberately at the end of the 8-week program. It's about celebrating the journey, but it's also about reinforcing our ability to make things happen. When we start to connect with the results, the outcomes that we're creating, it means we get the ability to make them happen more often. So there's all these brain physiology, chemistry things that go on with dopamine hits and serotonin and all these lovely good, feel-good hormones when we achieve success, when we feel good. And so we can harness the power of this celebration. So we're going to start there today. We're going to do some celebrate and grow, and then we're going to pause and get into the next kind of couple of modules, just a flavor so that you can feel how you might want to start dreaming and setting some goals ready for 2022. Hope that sounds okay with you guys. I'm going to get into it. Fabulous. So let's celebrate 2021. I know that's a really weird concept given what an awful year it's been for lots of us, okay? But it really is amazing. And I'll just give you some, for instance, this image actually shows 12 months ago, I did a photo shoot for my business when I was first setting up Ocean Flow. And one of the most magical things happened. We walked down to the beach to do the photo shoot. I wanted it to be at the beach because that's my thing. It's Ocean Flow. And the photographer and I have known each other for a little while. She's a friend. It's really awesome. We went down to the beach. We're just chattering away, walking down to the shore. And there's a lot of kelp on the beach. There was just a lot of kelp. There'd been a big kelp release when we get water changeover. The kelp was there. And we literally just were standing on the beach chatting, looked over to our left, and there, lo and behold, is Sammy the seal just lying on the beach. This was before dawn, so it was a little bit dark. And Sammy was just chilling out. He just kind of checked us out. And it was just one of those magical moments that just made the whole shoot feel even more special. And I think we can all take a lesson from this when we're thinking about reviewing the year that's been. Often there's crappy stuff, there's really big challenges, there's stuff that's been thrown at us that we didn't expect, but there are also these magical moments that just appear out of nowhere. And I'd really encourage you, as we go into that worksheet, I'm going to get you to use your worksheet to start thinking about this, is in this first part, I'd love you to fill in the top 2 boxes of your sheet. I'm going to pause for a few minutes and get you to do this exercise, is what can I celebrate? What happened this year that is either really amazing, wonderful, it worked really well, great kind of things happened, but also if maybe there were lessons learned, if there were things that you just didn't expect that happened out of the blue, what did I learn from that? Okay, there are some questions to prompt you there underneath the boxes. And also we can reflect and learn from the what didn't go so well. Yeah. Obviously, I think we're all going to be writing COVID in that box as a challenge for all of us. I'm going to pause. I'm just going to give you 5 minutes to start this process, if that's okay. I think outside of this session, not to take all of your day up today, I would get you to go back and spend some more detailed time thinking through, but just to get you started. So let's do 5 minutes on those top 2 boxes. I'm going to set a little timer. Okay, I'll leave you in peace for 5 minutes. Ready, set, go. Sorry, guys, I should have just mentioned, this is a great way to use your diary or your calendar to help you think about the year as well. For me, what I tend to do is I run workshops a lot. So for me, the number of workshops each month, I just tally those at the top. The number of dives I've had, because that's a personal goal of spending time in the water. I write those things at the top of each month, and then I add them up. And it can give me some sort of numbers around, wow, how much have I actually achieved this year? How many people have I worked with? How wonderful is that? So yeah, just a few little, if you can make some sort of conclusions around some of that stuff, that's really helpful. Okay, that's 5 minutes. Can sometimes seem like a long time, sometimes just seems to whiz by. How was that? I would love you guys to tell me, how was that for you? What were the big insights?
For me, I actually, when I first read the chart, I looked at it and it was so hard.
Yeah.
And the hardness is just, I don't know, looking inside yourself and, you know, what worked well and what did you achieve and what are you proud of? That can be really hard for me.
Okay.
So and you know, when you're going through a big challenge, you sort of forget about all the other things too. But it's good. It's so important to be mindful, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
that's really. I'm proud that I meditated almost every day this year, and strangely, when I really wasn't well and recuperating, I didn't. You know,
Okay.
how does that? Why is that? Anyway,
Interesting.
this is
Yeah.
very, very strange. But anyway, back into it
Yeah.
now. So that's
Awesome.
the thing I celebrate the most, I think.
Wonderful, Chris. Yeah. And bringing our awareness back to this is so important. So making sure we're thinking about what is it that I did used to do that worked really well for me that's fallen away. Why did that happen? Can I reinstate that? Is that something I want to bring back? Yeah. Fab. Good job, Chris. Shelley, how about you?
Yeah, I can really empathize, Chris. I haven't been well this year much either. And it's always when I'm really flat that I haven't done what I know has really helped. But I found an old diary that from about 20 years ago, and it just had it just had a column that said all the things that make me feel good. And to think some of those things, like half of them I wasn't even doing anymore or more than half, wasn't even doing anymore in my life, even though I'm mostly the same person, you know. And so I realized that I do have to I love that idea of tallying up. And it's really funny, I went through my diary and it said, the quote for this week was, little by little one travels far. And it actually, so I thought, yeah, it's true. It's the little steps. And so I started meditating this year and as well, and have made a lot of, I think, really big steps in personal development, like connected a lot of dots, which is sort of really exciting. And on that same level, I found people who appreciate those dots, you know, the same, like-minded people that get my enthusiasm about those developments. And I've been able to support my kids really well through this situation, and it's been really hard for them because we're on the outskirts of Melbourne. So, you know, yeah, I'm proud of those moments for sure.
Oh, that's wonderful, Shelley. Yeah. And isn't it interesting when we look back, we also find that it's often a lot of the personal things, the things that we do for ourselves or others, that are actually the things we are most proud of, or the things that worked well, not necessarily whether we achieved, you know, financial goals in business or kind of promotions, or all of the things that traditionally people hang their hats on as signs of success.
Yep.
So yeah, it's
on the other column I do have didn't earn much money.
Yeah, there are swings and roundabouts here, aren't there? Yes, awesome. Wonderful. Thank you, Shelley. And Sherry, how about you? Were any big insights there for you?
Yeah, I think it's always difficult to look back because it's so easy to, oh yeah, it went all right. Oh yeah, it's just okay. And then, but when you look at the question, you're like, oh, okay, I better think and put on my thinking hat. So yeah, it's always challenging to look back, but I think it's important. And yeah, and I think this year have been like a homecoming sort of a thing. Like, you know, whenever I take leave, it's always, I need to do something. If I take leave, if I do my annual leave, I need to do something. I need to go out. I need to be traveling somewhere. I cannot stay at home. But then I think this year have been like a, you know, I'm coming back to myself. I'm coming back to me. I'm coming back to, you know, staying in my house, my neighborhood. And that has been a beautiful, I don't know, travels. And I realized I can walk a lot, and I can appreciate just whatever that's within. And I think I'm just starting to be in love with myself. I mean, not in an egoistic way, but, you know, just starting to love myself a little bit more. And
that's wonderful, Debbie. And you're reflecting back so much of what I hear from others. That's just fantastic. Yeah. And there's this sense of a return to being able to be more mindful and to kind of connect with ourselves a little bit more, to just be a little bit more, I guess, in our simple life. Just we don't need all the bells and whistles often. You know, the travel is difficult because I know how much I've missed it too. But the idea that we can just be kind of grounded and centered around ourselves and our home or around our family is just really awesome. So yeah, well done. I would love you guys just to keep thinking on this. We won't spend any more time on it this morning now, but just keep thinking if you can, as you're coming towards Christmas, that break, I find the time between Christmas and New Year, that becomes quite reflective sometimes when we're thinking about New Year's Eve and getting ready for the new year, is just continue to think about, what lessons have I learned here? What are the big things that have meant a lot to me? And like Chewy, one for me, this year has been very difficult, but at the same time, my eldest son has got engaged. They're having a baby. We're actually 3 days overdue today. I'm going to be a nana. Like, these are things that just came out of the blue. Yeah, I know, how crazy. And just really unexpected, delightful things that have happened in the year. Even with all of the other crappy stuff that's happened, there are these blessings that come to us. And this leads me into our next little section. I'm going to just go to the next page, is thinking about what words or themes might describe this year. And what am I grateful for? What if we celebrate gratitude? This is one for me that when I was going through my cancer journey, I started gratitude practice, and every single day I wrote down a list of things I was grateful for, because when you're in that zone of, ill health or stressful periods where we're just trying to put one foot in front of the other and keep going, that we lose sight of what's important. And there are always things to be grateful for. And we know that the great science behind this is, 30 days of gratitude practice lifts our happiness 25%. There's a significant impact on our brain physiology, on our emotional well-being. So if we can celebrate gratitudes, it's a really powerful way to kind of, again, and for me, it's a closing out of the year. It's that feeling of kind of completion of all of the wonderfulness of what we can celebrate. Whilst we, we can even be grateful for some of the really hard lessons that we've had in the year. Yep. So really encourage you to have a think about those. I will let you fill those in at your own speed. I'm conscious of, we've had lovely chats already, and I said I would be here for 45 minutes. I can be here longer, but I know some of you have stuff to do today. So I'll keep going through and just sort of talk you through the process, and then you can go away and spend some more time thinking about this yourself. So that's kind of our celebrate. I hope that was good for you to start thinking about this. And I would encourage you to celebrate it with others. Share it with your family and friends. Share it with your work colleagues. Get them to think about, what can we celebrate from this crazy year? And then how do we move forward into amazing 2022? This is something that I love. Obviously, as I mentioned to the guys, I did Clifton Strengths a few years ago and found that my strengths definitely are honed around visioning and goal setting and that kind of stuff. Lo and behold, this is where I find myself. It's great to be able to do this stuff with you. So the second sheet that I've given you is the 2022 looking forward. So once we've looked back, we can pause and reflect and then look forward to see, what do we want for our 2022? This is a great little process to do when we're thinking about how to figure out which areas we want to focus in on. Now, on the sheet, there are only 4 areas. I've kind of divided that into business and career, wealth, health, and personal. In the full Ocean Flow program that I run, we do this, as I said, there's 8 to 11 kind of key life areas that we can look into. I'll just share that with you, actually. I'll just whiz past here. When you're starting to think about creating dreams or visions or goals of where you want to be, this can sometimes help, is to think about, what would I like my family life to look like? What would I like my contribution to community look like? What would I like my business or my career to look like? What about finances? What about health and fitness? So being able to start just using this to sort of spark ideas can help us to dream big. And I'm going to whiz back to this slide, because this is a key one. When I first started my Ocean Flow program, I was trying to think of ways to demonstrate big thinking, dreaming big. And I actually had a business coach for a while who was just amazing. And he put me in touch with, if you guys know Mind Valley, Vishen Lakiani. Vishen does a 6-phase meditation, and I will send you the link again in a follow-up email. My business coach asked me to do this meditation for 6 days straight. It's just 20 minutes. And the 6-phase meditation gets you to a place where you start to think about, what would my perfect day look like? And in the meditation process, I know Chewy and Shelley and Chris had both said they're meditating every day. This could be a great one for you to try. Chewy, I'm not sure if you meditate too, but this I found a little challenging because I'm not great at meditating, but it really sparked some amazing things for me. And one of the big ideas was, well, maybe, you know, I could own my own island. You know, people like Richard Branson, he owns an island. Why couldn't I do that? And although it was a big idea, I realized that that's a big dream, maybe too big, I don't know. In the future, who knows? Yeah, I could win the lottery. But it also could be that this idea of being on an island could be that just for 2 weeks a year, I go somewhere tropical and I'm on the island and it becomes mine. I have my own bure or have my own space on the island. You know, this is how we start to make our dreams come true. We can do that in a couple of ways too. I just wanted to mention this is part of my inspiration board. It's actually right here in my office on the wall. And this is where I started when I was starting to dream big. I literally just threw up stuff on the board and went, you know, there's stuff about the ocean, there's stuff about work. Those pictures are actually of me presenting at the NADEX conference a couple of years ago. But that in my visioning, dreaming stuff was actually me presenting on stage with people like Richard Branson and Elon Musk. I don't know where that came from, but it was just like, wouldn't that be amazing? Presenting at the same conference as these guys.
Yeah.
And it just got the vision out there, this big dream. Maybe it's, you know, 3, 5, 10 years down the track, who knows? But it starts to get us feeling excited about the possibilities of the future. So very much encourage you guys to have a play with this concept. This little sheet for 2022 kind of hones us back in again. So I would encourage you to do some dreaming, maybe try the Vishen Lakhiani meditation, and then start to think about, so which of those dreams and goals do I want to focus on for 2022? Are there stepping stones towards those big goals that could be this year? Or are there dreams and goals within the year that are going to be really exciting for me to tackle? So think about your definition too of success. What does that look like or feel like for you? Because success is different for each of us. Yeah. So I'd encourage you to think about that. I'm not going to get you to fill that in right now because I think you need a little bit more time to think through what that is. But use this just to help you think about, what do I want to focus on? Is it a year for business? Given COVID, for some of us, it might be that we need to get our businesses up and running. We need to earn more money. We need to really drive forward with that. Or it could be a year of, you know what, I'm just going to be taking care of myself. It's a year for me to think about really building health or building my emotional well-being. For me, I know 2022 is a really big shift. It's going to be a year really focused a lot on family as well as business. So I know I need to keep my business going. I stepped into my full-time own sole trader business this year, which has been a big change for me. So I do need to earn income. But I also know that with a new baby and other things happening within my family life, that needs to be a really big focus for me. So I'm going to start to try and create goals that balance those two things. So I really encourage you to think about that in some detail as you get past this session. And if you want to chat afterwards, obviously I'm happy to chat. This is my full inspiration board. And I would encourage you, if you do want to do an inspiration board, it's a great way to just throw stuff up there that just literally inspires you. I'm not sure if you can see here, there's people like David Attenborough is my absolute hero.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, he's just the most incredible human being. Things like my photography, my underwater photography that I want to do more of. Some of these images down the bottom here, if you want to do things like, you can grab a board on Pinterest if you like to do things electronically, or you can literally print them out and stick them up on a board. These were from my visioning meditation that I did. So throwing up there images that inspire you, things that, I say it's long term, but they give you this feeling. Every time I look at this board, it inspires me every day to think about being near the ocean, about where I want my business to go long term. The idea of, you know, a lot of these images are around me running retreats for people in this beautiful oceanside villa, you know, with our yacht sitting off the shore, where we go and do our ocean research off the yacht in the mornings before we do our workshops. You know, it's all that kind of dreaming that we can do. I would also encourage you to then get into the second part of this grid, which is to then pick the dreams that you really want to go after, your top 5 or top 6 or whatever feels right for you. And these are going to be across a range of those key life areas. It's not all going to be business focused. Yeah, this isn't meant to be, I'm going to achieve this much salary and I'm going to do this many workshops and I'm going to do, it's not all about work. We need to take a very holistic approach if we're going to succeed and make sure that we are taking good physical and emotional care of our own well-being. We need goals in each of these areas. Yeah. So I'd very much encourage you to have your top 5 to be balanced, not just all about work. Okay. We can put timeframes against these too, or it could be that this is more of a goal or intention that is something that I'm going to do every day for a year. Things like you mentioned about, I'm going to meditate every day for a year. That's a great goal. Yeah. And it's very much, you have a time frame around it. You're going to do it every day. But think about also, what support do I need? If I'm going to set a goal that's quite challenging, what support do I need? Do I want an accountability buddy? Do I need support from others that I need to think about now that I could get? Is it more education? Is it a course that I want to go away and do? Or is it that I need somebody, I might want to get my boss on side if I'm aiming for a promotion or I'm aiming for something within business that my boss or a friend or colleague, business partner can help you with. Think about what role each of those people can play in helping you achieve these goals. The wider we share this, the more we can actually get, I guess, traction with our goals. And there are some little ideas when we get to this next section on the board. I'll come back to talk about sticky goals in a second. Is this idea of mindset, when we think about mindset. This was, again, the photo shoot we did the same day. My dog, we were trying to just do some yoga poses. Yoga's a big thing I love. My dog would not get off the yoga mat. So yes, he's a little monkey. But think about whenever you are setting some goals and intentions, how you can incorporate those into your everyday. So the ideas here, you'll see under mindset on your sheet, it says visible connection to your goals are a great way to help you maintain your focus. Add a picture of your vision board and all your goals to your phone. So I've actually got one. If I put my screensaver, I've got my goals sitting on my screensaver on my phone. Yeah. Add it to your notebooks. Add it to your daily affirmations. Write it on your mirror. That kind of stuff can really help. Even your passwords that you choose can kind of link you in with your goals. Yeah. So really think about how you can use that to create the right mindset for your success as you set yourself up for 2022. And again, maybe you can pick some keywords or themes that will inspire you. For me next year, it's going to be all about ocean flow and ninja. My productivity ninja work that I do, I absolutely adore. But family is going to be a very big key. Yeah. So think about what really inspires you. You may even be able to write some of those words down straight away. You might know intuitively what they are for 2022. Does anything come to mind for you guys already that's going to be a focus?
We have, this will be the last year that we're all together as a family. Like my son will be moving out and then my daughter finishes high school, so she'll probably go to uni or something. So this is a really strange year for us. So we have to make it special and we have to make sure that we do all the things we want to do as a foursome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before it changes, before the dynamic is different.
And absolutely treasure it.
Yeah.
And don't sweat the small stuff.
No. And it is a challenge because, you know, we're all together all the time, all four of us. And you can get complacent about the quality of that time.
Yeah. Speaking as a mum whose kids have moved out, I would love them to move back in. I'm that mum. So just enjoy every minute.
Yeah, I know. I homeschooled my kids, so like I've had a lot of time with them.
Oh my gosh, if I could hand it to you, I'd give you a medal. I just think that's so amazing. Well done.
Yeah, it is absolutely amazing, Shelley. And I'd really encourage you too to think about proactively, what can I do in that when they're moving out to stay connected. So during, for instance, both of my kids moved out as well. My youngest actually moved out during COVID last year, and my eldest just moved in with his fiance and got set up as he was finishing uni. So he's now independent as well. But we started doing every week, we just do one night a week, a trivia night on Zoom, because we couldn't physically get together. And that was a great way to stay connected. So think creatively, and also think about, there's a really, really big, there's some research around this change, this period of time when, for women, when our kids move out, and the life stage that we then move into, and the importance of thinking about, what does our future look like? Where are our dreams and goals going to sit? You know,
and who are you even anymore?
Yeah, exactly right. So really think about that, Shelley. It's a great thing to think now about what you want that to look like, and start setting up some time up for you as well. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Julie. Good idea.
Yeah, no worries. So we've covered what I wanted to share with you today in a brief, detailed way, so that I could share with you the sheets. And I would really, as I say, encourage you to just sit with them, play with them, sit with a glass of wine or whatever your preferred beverage is, and just doodle, play, really have some time to dig deep into, say, those lessons, what's worked well, what can I take forward, what can I leave behind, what do I really want no more of in my life for 2022, and then how do I set myself up for a wonderful year ahead. I did want to just mention to you that I will be running vision boarding workshops, goal setting workshops into the new year, and over Christmas as well, and the flow productivity workshops too, to help with getting that stuff done. And my new Ocean Week Flow 8-week Ocean Flow program starts in January. So if you are interested to learn more, I've got heaps of materials I can send you, just some background information, things that might help you just consider if that's the right thing for you. The program is an 8-week online guided learning program. But it's a group program, so we share insights with each other, we connect with others to help us, I guess, move through that process. There are vision boarding and goal setting hands-on workshops in that program, as well as some one-on-one coaching sessions. And the clarity and commitments process really helps you to embed those goals so that you can move forward with success. We do a big flow productivity workshop as well to make sure that you have the tools that you need to move forward with, and all those routines and rituals that help you to stay on track. There's a Facebook group so that you can stay connected with each other and compare notes on each of the weeks to see how you're going. And of course, all the templates and tools that you'll need to keep you on track. There's also lifetime access to all the course materials. And if you complete the 8-week program and you want to come back and do it again, you can come back and do that as well. So it starts in January. If you would like to do a discovery call with me, please feel free just to jump on email. Just let me know and we can have a chat. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. How are we doing on time? We've just gone 2 minutes over, so we're okay. If you would like to stay and chat though, I am going to just stop the recording. I'll do that now.